Many thanks again for joining us on the program TMI on the ITV network. We get straight into our conversation today, talking health, but this time the emphasis is on women's health. Every October is known as the Pink Month for breast cancer awareness. In today's program, we have members of the Nigerian Medical Women Association Edo State chapter here to talk to us about it and also to enlighten us about the program that they have in place so you can benefit from it. I'd like to welcome to the studio the Public Relations Officer of Edo State chapter of the Medical Women's Association, Dr. Henrietta Ugbeni. Thank you for joining us on the program.
Thank you, sir.
We also have with us a wellness coordinator of the association, Dr. Tony Faboya. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, so let's start off with Dr. Henrietta. Pink October. Give us, an overview of what the month is about as it relates to cancer awareness, specifically breast cancer.
Thank you, sir. Pink October has been a month that is marked for breast cancer awareness. It's actually celebrated worldwide. First started in the United Kingdom. There, they chose a month to raise awareness about cancer and also to increase funding for cancer programs, especially breast cancer. Because we all know that most of the women that will come down with cancer, we first have breast cancer than any other one. So breast cancer still ranks first amongst the killer of women worldwide. So the month is set aside to raise awareness about breast cancer, prevention especially, the very basic things everyone can do for early identification, prevention, treatment, and all other options available. So this month, Medical Women Association of Nigeria, the Edo State chapter, all over the country, we are marking it. And then the Edo State chapter is particularly taking the month seriously by organizing programs. And these programs, most of them are majorly free. Because we know that there's economic hardship. Most of the screenings, like mammography that was 30,000 before, we are halving it to something 15,000. Then even those other centers that do theirs for 40,000, they are giving us 50% discount prices. That's just to be able to encourage all women to come out and screen. But the one we actually want to teach about is the one you can do for yourself, which is the breast self-examination. That is free, and that actually helps foster early identification, early detection of breast cancer.
Fantastic. Share with us your thoughts on this Pink October.
Pink October is a month of to create awareness concerning breast cancer. And as my colleague has already said, it's a month that we really want to teach the populace about breast self-examination. The importance of knowing how to check your breast is very, very important, because that's when you know how your breast is, that's normally, when there's now a change, you will quickly know and you call for care. So early detection saves a life.
Fantastic. What specifically is the Edo State chapter of the Nigerian Medical Women Association putting in place to mark this day? Is it just going to be a one-day activity, or you've got activities lined up to mark this month?
We have activities lined up to mark the month. First is that currently the president is from Ira Specialist Teaching Hospital. So we have some at the Uromi Aziz, and then some will take place in Benin City. Doctor's House, the Wellness Clinic of Medical Women Association, that is located at the Doctor's House in Benin City. So that of the Benin City will start from on the 23rd to 25th. That's Wednesday to Friday of this month. What we intend to do is increase awareness talk, have a walk, and then teach women how to do breast self-examination. Coupled with that, we've already started advertising all the way from the 1st of October about the different clinics that have decided to synergize with Medical Women Association to reduce by 50% the amount of money to screen using the mammography or the breast ultrasound scan. That has already been in place. So now what we want to do from today in the Uromi, in collaboration with St. Camillus Hospital, We are teaching the populace about how to examine their breasts. We are also examining for all the women that make themselves available, and that's free of charge. And then we also do health education. Apart from that, if we discover anyone that has anything suspicious for breast cancer, we'll take it further, encourage them to do the appropriate investigation. For those that are less than 40 years of age, they are going to have a breast ultrasound scan done. For those that are more than 40 years, they are going to have a mammography done. So all of this is packaged for this month, and it's essentially free, just for the women to make themselves available, and then we will attend to them.
Okay, Dr. Faboya, you are the Secretary of the Planning Committee, I suppose. Give us more details about these activities, who can participate, how they can participate, and specifically talk about the exact locations where these events are taking place.
Thank you. For the one of Benin, it is going to take place at Doctor's House, close to UBTH. And it's going to start from 23rd of October to 25th, from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. We are going to be there. We are expecting all women, especially from age 21 to 65. They are very, very essential for them to know how to examine their breast. We are going to also do some other activities like examining the cervix, because we know that breast cancer and cervical cancer are the most common cancers in women. So we will teach them how to examine it, and we as a doctor will also examine the breast for them. Then for the uromi axis, it started today and 25th, 21st, yes. That's today, 14 and 21st of October this month at the various places. That's St. Camillus Hospital. So that's all.
Okay. Okay, let's just talk a bit more about the challenge of breast cancer. What are the predisposing factors? Because I understand, like you said, and she also admitted it, breast cancer and cervical cancer are about the most prevalent when it comes to cancer problems with women. Yeah.
Okay. The thing about cancer is the exact cause cannot sometimes be known. As in, we will not really be able to say, oh, this was what caused it. But there are risk factors. There are some risk factors that can be in the person that will that will increase the chances of the person to have breast cancer. First is genetic. Breast cancer runs in families, especially if it's associated with mutation in those their BRCA genes. So sometimes even where screening is well established, once a member of the family already has breast cancer, other women or men also have breast cancer, just that it's not so prevalent. So they will go for screening to see if this gene is available. Some of them that have the gene, they will opt for prophylaxis. They just remove the breast because they've noticed the gene. What about those that don't have the gene? Sometimes hormones, some mutations in their hormones can also lead to breast cancer. All this can only be done where there are screening available and the screening are cost effective. Other risk factors could be normal smoking, alcohol. Those things, they cause damage to the gene. But sometimes the person already has a predisposition, and then it's just like a second hit to bring out the breast cancer. Then the lifestyle, and then most times unknown. Nobody actually can say this was the reason why the person eventually came down with, breast cancer. So if you are able to live a good life, you avoid smoking, avoid cigarettes. Smoking and cigarettes have been implicated in a lot of pathologies in humans, including cancers. And then family history, and then aging, hormone exposure. There was a time where hormone replacement therapy was very controversial. Most people saw it to be a predisposition factor for breast cancer. They've been trying to erase that fact, but it's still something that is in view. So things like that can predispose an individual to breast cancer.
Okay. Dr. Tony, talk to us about how important early detection is? Because you just mentioned the age bracket of those you're expecting to make themselves available for this free screening.
Thank you. Aging is part of the risk factor. Breast cancer is noticed especially at from age 55, although it can occur earlier, but most times is from age 55 that is being noticed. So the early detection is very, very important. First of all, as I said earlier on, there's need for an individual to know how your breast normally is, as per the sizes, the nipples, if they are pointed out or they are retracted inside, or if there's any skin changes around the breast. So it's very, very important for you to know how your breasts are at the initial stage, so that when there's any changes, you will quickly know that there's something going on. So the age bracket is from age 20, because before then, due to the pubertal changes, so the breast is also developing. So it's not advisable for you to check below 20 years, but as from 20 years, when the breast is fully matured, you can now start to examine your breast. And the breast self-examination is very, very effective in detecting early changes in the breast. And then one thing that I would like to point out is that when you detect a lump, for example, in the breast, it's very, very important for you to go to the hospital. Let the doctor or the healthcare officers examine you to actually know if it's a lump. And you should also know that getting a lump in the breast is not automatically breast cancer. So we have some benign changes too that can also present as lump in the breast. So it's very, very important for you to know how your breast is. Then when there's changes, you'll be able to know and take the appropriate steps.
Fantastic. Some time ago, the issue of vaccine, cancer vaccine, was a major talking point. How is that relevant to this program that you're having, Dr.?
Yes.
Yeah.
We are still propagating vaccines. As of now, there's really no one that is known for breast cancer. But you see cervical cancer, HPV vaccine that just was newly introduced. It's a message we've been propagating, encouraging women, parents, to allow their children come out for the vaccination. Recall that it's just got to Edo State some months ago, and the age bracket they wanted to take at once was from 8 to 14, because we think that at that age you shouldn't be exposed to sex. And the more naive you are, the better the vaccine will work. We are looking forward to a time where they can actually also be vaccine for breast cancer, a vaccine that is known, that is propagated. I think that by now technology should work in that direction, because breast cancer, the burden of breast cancer is still enormous, and if it is dealt with, people are really going to be grateful. Then for that of the cervical cancer that is already available, and that is even given for free of charge, before the Edo State government, before it got to Edo State, I'd already given to my daughter, because that vaccine was actually available, but it was expensive. 20,000 per one, and if you have to do severies, you may have to do it twice, and that's like 40,000 naira. So a lot of people, due to poverty, or maybe we are not able to access the vaccine, but now it's out there in the open, free of charge. I can tell you that in the last 2 to 3 months, we've been from places to places, churches, assemblies, schools, trying to raise awareness and educate both parents, students, teachers, in order to help call out children to come for that vaccine. So we are not just doing breast cancer alone. Somehow we find how to put other cancers in perspective, and we also talk about modalities for prevention, especially where it's known, like HPV vaccine now, we also propagate it.
Okay. I've heard people say that this is just part of the conversation, maybe a street conversation as it were, that men also have a role to play in helping to mitigate the challenge of breast cancer. What is that role?
The role is for early detection.
Okay.
Okay, as my colleague has said, the woman looks at the breast, just the same way the man looks at the breast. And then the man also touches the breast.
Okay.
Sometimes the people that discover it early will be the husbands because they know what they have been feeling. And so when they feel a mass, they're able to draw. I can say for sure, most times, no, most women will not go and stand before the mirror and be touching their breast. To some, it looks weird.
So that responsibility goes to the men.
The responsibility.
Interesting. You want to say something about that?
Yes, of course.
Yes.
At least between the couples, husband and wife, is a big responsibility now we are placing on men, at least to be able to check their wife's breast. Not only that, even sucking, the suckling reflex also help. It's also help.
Is this empirically proven? Is it empirically proven that sucking the breast has a way of reducing the predisposition of a woman to breast cancer?
Yes.
Okay.
Either from the man or from the baby.
Okay.
So those that actually breastfeed their babies, that's exclusive breastfeeding, and the number of months or years they need to breastfeed, it's actually helps.
Okay. Dr. Henrietta, which is more potent, the man sucking the breast or the baby sucking the breast? I just want our men folks out there to have something from this program.
Oh, well, sucking is sucking. But you can see that the men will do more sucking lifetime compared to the children. I mean, after a while, the woman stops giving birth. The man is still going to continue with his responsibility.
Absolutely.
So the bulk of the work is on the men.
All right, so you heard it loud and clear, especially you asking me what role can men play to mitigate this challenge. You heard it now loud and clear from the horse's mouth that you have a responsibility to assist your wife to ensure that she's not predisposed to breast cancer. And that can only happen when you engage in sucking the breast. And even though the children have a role to play, it's limited because at some point your wife will stop doing that and you will continue for eternity or as long as God will permit you to live on earth. Okay, let's quickly conclude by highlighting the day this event is taking place and how women are supposed to participate and how many days is going to run. Let me begin with you, Dr. Henrietta.
Okay, to recap, the October is Pink October month as Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So in this month, we expect that all women, especially within that age of 20 and above, to check their breasts, do a breast self-examination. Where you have never screened before with ultrasound scan or mammography for those greater than 40, ultrasound scan for those less than 40, it's encouraged that you do that. Now, the medical women also want to play a role by setting days aside in this month to help you do this, just in case you've not done it. So the days we have set aside is today, starting today, 14th of October, will be at St. Camillus Hospital, Uromi. There we expect a huge turnout of the women to come and participate or benefit from the program. We will talk about health, talk about cervical cancer, we'll talk about breast cancer. We would teach you how to do breast self-examination. That's today in Uromi St. Camillus Hospital. And we'll also help you examine the breast. Okay, and then in Benin, we are coming to Benin City on the 23rd through 25th. We are going to replicate these activities in Benin: health talk, breast self-examination, clinician examination of the breast. All of this we've put together just to help the woman folk and also contribute our quota to reduce mortality from breast cancer.
Fantastic. Dr. Famoya, you want to add a final word to this conversation by way of encouraging women to participate and also encouraging men to inform their wives and encourage them to participate?
We are encouraging the women in Edo State, wherever you are, you should make yourself available. Doctors house from, that's next week, 23rd, 24th to 25th. In the morning, 9 a.m. As from 9 a.m. we will be there. We will also do what we call visual inspection of the service using acetic acid and Lugos iodine to still help in detecting HPV infection in women. So it's also part of it. So please make yourself available, and to our men, please allow your wife, your children that are above 21 years, let them be part of it for better life.
All right, thank you very much. I've been talking with Dr. Henrietta Ogbenni, the Public Relations Officer of the Nigerian Medical Women Association Edo State Chapter, as well as the Secretary of the Planning Committee, Dr. Toyin Faboya. They're here to give us updates on the plans for this month as relates to Pink Month, which is a month set aside globally to focus attention, awareness on the challenge of breast cancer. And they've outlined all their activities taking place at St. Camilo's Hospital in Uromi and another one at Doctor's House here in Edo South. Please take advantage of these opportunities and ensure that we reduce the menace of breast cancer and even cervical cancer to the barest minimum. Thank you once again for coming on the program.
Thank you, sir.